All right. 90% of all small engine or anything gas related, most times it's bad fuel. Something. Everything I've ever worked on, 90% of the time, 9 out of 10 things is bad gas. Neighbor had a couple things here. Luckily, she had steel, and these are decent steel products. If you have a Craftsman, just throw it away. Go buy something entry level commercial, and you will save yourself a lot of headache. So start with that. Don't even waste the time. You'll never be able to tune a Craftsman type of chainsaw or trimmer to ever operate to of a level of a Stihl or an Echo or a Husqvarna Red Max. Spend the extra $100, $200, whatever it is, and you'll have a machine that will last you the rest of your life. I've got equipment that is over 20 years old. I have not changed the spark plug on. I haven't changed the fuel filter. I haven't changed an air filter. Run premium gas. And if it's more than a year old, just like we're going to do here, we're going to take this, and I already smelled this. She said someone had used this one last year, and they could have, but they must have put old gas in it. This stuff is bad. This stuff smells worse than the, remember a couple weeks ago I was working on that KLR from 2016. It had fuel from it, and it was actually in really good shape. This stuff is already discolored, and it's just nasty. I'm not even going to attempt to start it. So the first thing you do is you dump the gas like I just did. You take the primer and you push the primer several times to get the rest of the fuel out of the lines. And then when you start hearing air, and now look, there's a little more fuel that comes out. And while it's upside down, just go ahead, feel free to, you're just trying to get it empty. And this isn't rocket science. We're not going to check the air filter. We're not going to check the plug. And take our 2-stroke. We're going to dump a little bit in there. We're going to take our primer, prime this up. Now I am looking at the fuel filter right now. It's a nice filter. It's a good filter. It's not one of the fabric, or I can't think what I want to call it. This is a good fill. Anyway, so I'm just cycling that new fresh gas through there. And then what we're going to do is shake that up, and we're going to dump this out. I'm going to take the primer bulb, get all that out. So all we're doing is flushing it at this point. Alright, now take some fresh gas again. Now I use Walmart brand synthetic 2-stroke, and I buy my premium gas from a gas station that is certified. They use premium detergents, and I recommend you do the same thing. You can do whatever you want, but I've got 35 plus years experience of doing this, and I might know a thing or two. Alright, so we got this primed up. I'm not personally a Stihl, and okay, so there's the choke. Some of these have specific starting procedures. I've got some stuff that I start with no throttle. Some stuff I start half throttle. Some stuff full throttle. So this one, what we'll do is sometimes on these, this one's not this way. Sometimes if you squeeze the throttle, it will kick the choke out. This one's not that way. So we're actually just going to use about quarter throttle. See what happens. And I don't know if I flooded it, but normally I use the rule of 3 pulls. If it don't fire in 3 pulls, I'm doing something wrong. So now I'm going to go to full open, no choke on, and give it, in case I flooded it. Which I must have flooded. So what I was doing there, leaving it wide open. On these 2 strikes, you really want to run them wide open. You're going to get less carbon buildup. There's a whole host of things, and there's plenty of stuff on YouTube if you want to watch it. You want to get straight to the point, fix something, watch me. So let's see if this starts again. There we go. Alright, I'm going to call that fixed. Now later on, after that cools down, we'll say an hour, I'll come out and see if it will start. I just can't remember. I know that these, especially these 56Rs, I have worked on a couple of them in the past, and some still stuff is really sensitive to starting procedures. If it's hot, sometimes you got to. They seem to flood easy, so I usually on. I have actually a commercial, 2 commercial steel chainsaws, and one of them I usually start full throttle after it's warm. Otherwise, it seems to be flooded out. I really prefer Echoes, hands down. As far as buying a saw, Echo. Now this thing is a 250. It actually looks, if you look at it, it looks to be in really good shape here. Looks. Oh yeah, look at this. I don't know if you can see the chain, but this needs to be sharpened something fierce. And a lot of times, people, when you start seeing stuff like this discoloration, and I look at this chain, I don't know if you can see it. This is, I can't even believe this actually cuts. You're burning the wood at this point, which leads to the heat on the bar discoloration. If you're seeing smoke on a warm day coming off your bar, it's probably a dull chain. Yeah. Alright, so we'll treat this one the same way. Yeah, it's bad. Now, that gas actually didn't look too bad right there. Now this is a 250. This is a little bit, this is up the chain. It's not a 170 or 180. It's got choke. You can see it's got choke. Full on choke, partial choke, which I'm guessing there is full on choke. You squeeze the trigger. Now this one doesn't kick off. If you notice, I squeezed the trigger, it didn't kick off. So you go to part choke, there it kicked off on part choke. Alright, I don't see a primer bulb on this, which I don't think, chainsaws, none of my steel chainsaws, the 2, 3, I guess 3, none of them have primer bulbs. So, now she said she loaned this one out, and it won't start now either, so let's just, let's pull the cover off real quick, just out of curiosity here. Trying to remember how this comes off. And the air filter actually looks, this saw looks, look at this saw. Look at this thing. It is immaculate. For this type of discoloration, it has been ran with a dull chain. This, this is unbelievable how good a shape this is in for this bar. So, this is a saw that someone forgot to sharpen the chain. They'll look at it and say, oh, I've only used it 3 times. But I look at that, I'm like, it looks like it's got 100 hours of use. It takes a lot of hours to take the paint off of a bar. Alright, so we're going to go half fuel here. I cannot believe the condition of this. I mean, look at the bar shot. The chain is actually jacked, and I'll tell her to get a new one. So on these, you squeeze the trigger, put down the full choke. And like I said, there's no prime. And sometimes this is your brake. Always use your brake. You're cutting a piece of wood. As soon as you stop cutting, take your saw, rotate it like this. Always put your brake on. Always. If you're going and you go to the next piece of wood, you should have engaged the brake. So you're going to be going and you're through, engage the brake. Step, release the brake, engage. It's that simple. There's no reason for you not to use your chain brake unless you want to die. I honestly can't believe they sell these to consumer. These are so dangerous. Okay, let's see what we got here. Now, when I go to start, if you look at recommended starting procedures, they normally have you set it on the ground. They have you put your foot back here and all this. They never say to drop it. I drop it, which I'll show you what a drop is. A lot of times, they also, you know, chain brake on. I always leave it off. Anyway, so this is the drop thing that you're not supposed to do. And we got some fire. Now we're going to go half choke. Okay, so this could be cold-blooded, could be some bad gas that's in there. So we'll go back to full choke. Go half choke. All that smoke, whoever's been running this, it was probably too rich a fuel mixture. Hard to say. Normally these run pretty clean. You shouldn't see that much smoke. And then boom, put your chain brake on. So I'm guessing whoever ran this, there's just a ton of smoke on it. And you saw the smoke when I started up. They're probably running too rich a fuel mixture. 50-to-1 synthetic. Don't mess it up. We'll see if it starts again. And voila. So here's the neighbor. I haven't even had these an hour. And look at the smoke coming off of this. That just goes to show you this muffler's full of oil. And that's what happens when you don't run two strokes wide open. And if you have too rich of an oil mixture. But look at this thing still smoking. So we'll come back in about an hour, let these cool down, and I'll see if they start. But more than likely they're fixed. End of story. PPE, glasses, rubber gloves, okay? Don't be dicking around with your bare hands on this stuff. It's gasoline, it's oil, it's hazardous to your health. It's really bad for your skin and dries it out. Now, one thing you could do, and I don't do this very often. I'll show you guys a little trick. Maybe. Let me look. Maybe I won't show you a trick. Must have lost it. If you take this male side of an air chuck, well, this is the female side, and you grab yourself the male side, you can have a quick air blower that puts out a lot of CFMs to blow something out. Like if you want to blow out the tank of residual. I thought I grabbed it this morning, but I must not have. I don't see it here. Oh, there it is. So what you would do, I normally have this just finger tight. You can unscrew that, put these two together, then this would plug into the end of the air hose, and you have yourself a quick blower. It's probably a little bit dangerous if you've never done it before, especially if you have a high volume compressor or 3/8 inch line or 1/2 inch line. Definitely not OSHA or ANSI approved. It's Butler Holler approved. Alright, everyone have a safe day.